Welcome back everyone, I'm Kate Plays Games, this is EVE Online. I'm sitting in my fancy snazzy escape pod, so that can only mean it's time for a ship fitting guide. And today we're going to be fitting a battleship for level 4 missions. We only have one ship left to do, and that is the Amarr Armageddon battleship. So that's what we're going to be doing, obviously. So let's open the fitting panel, type in get on, find the ship we need, simulate, and let's get down to business. Let's do what we do first every time and look at the traits of the ship. Now this ship is a little bit weird. Most of the traits are to do with PvP. So the traits are per level of Amarr battleship skill, you get a 10% bonus to drone hit points and damage. So at level 5 you will get 50% better hit points and damage on all your drones, and it has a 10% bonus to energy Nosferatu and energy neutralizer optimal range, and 5% bonus to Nos and Newt fall off range. Now, Nosferatu and Newts basically don't work in PvE, so this is very definitely a PvP battleship. It's designed to neutralise enemies' capacitor and then kill them with drones. And it has the same roll bonus that every single battleship in the game has. It gets bonuses for shield extenders, armour plates and reinforced bulkheads, so there are no other weapon bonuses. Now we're going to take a look at the slots. There are 7 high slots, 5 of which can be turrets, 5 of which can be missiles. So that gives you lots of flexibility, but as we know on the traits, neither the turrets nor the missiles have any bonuses, so these are unbonused weapon types, so you're not going to get huge amounts of DPS or indeed damage application from them because there's no traits for that. Mid slots, there's only 4 mid slots, that's pretty appalling. As we know, Amarr ships struggle with capacitor, and we're going to need at least 1 cap battery on this thing I think, and a propulsion module and 2 something else. There are a huge 7 low slots, but another problem we see with the Armageddon is that it only has 687.5 CPU, which is hardly any CPU, so we're probably going to use at least one of these low slots for a co-processor, and then the usual reactive armor hardener, armor repairer, and then some damage things and damage application in the remaining 4. And we have 3 rig slots with 400 calibration. So the first thing we're going to have to work out is, what do we want this ship to do? Well, obviously we're going to be doing level 4 missions, so we can either be a brawler, or we can be a long range laser sniper, or a long range missile sniper. I think we are going to have a look at doing this as a long range missile sniper, because it does have 125 megabits per second drone bandwidth, which will let it use 5 sentry drones. So I'm thinking we'll go cruise missile and sentry drones. A, because none of these weapons will use capacitor, which is great, and B, because they can all select their damage types. Obviously missiles come in 4 types and drones come in 4 types, so we can always do the exact correct type of damage to the NPC enemy we're going to be facing. Right, let's get into the hardware section and fit some modules to this ship. Right, we said we're going to do cruise missiles, let's just get them out of the way first. Missile launchers, cruise missile launcher, Mark II, there we are, 5 of them, done, that's that done. And because we want to be a sniper, we're going to put a large micro jump drive. This will be the only propulsion module. We've only got 4 mid slots, so we can't really mess around having a jump drive and a micro warp. To get from gate to gate in a mission, we'll just triangulate, we'll go straight up and then click the micro jump drive, and then 3 minutes later when this cools down we'll point at the gate, activate it again and hopefully land right on the gate. That's the theory, not sure how it's going to go in practice. And let's do the other easy thing, a reactive armor hardener and a large armor repairer. We'll go for a Tech 2, there we go. So that's the very basics of this fit, and as we see the cap is absolutely terrible already. So I think we'll do a large compact cap battery, just because large compact cap batteries are one of the best modules in the game when it comes to PvE at least. Right, let's fit some missiles. We're going to go Tech 2 missiles. We'll just do Scourge because we're in Galanti space again, and Serpentis are going to be the main enemies. We've face, and they're weakest to kinetic. So when we mouse over this, it tells us that the maximum flight range is 111 kilometers. So we're going to be micro jump driving, and that means we're going to be at least 100 kilometers away from everything, plus the distance it was away from us when we clicked the module. So we're going to need to extend the range of these missiles and our drones. In fact, drones is a very good idea because their drone control range is only 60 kilometers, and if we're going to be using a micro jump drive to travel like 120 kilometers away, we're going to need to get our drone control range way up. And luckily we have 2 high slots which are empty, so I think we're going to do that next. We're going to go to Drone Link Augmenter 2 and put 2 of these on. That's the CPU taking a hammering already. Now our drone control range is 108. I'd like it to be a little bit longer than that. We can do that with a rig. We go to Drone Rigs. Where is it? Large Drone Control Range Augmenter 2. Alright, drone control range is now 128 kilometers. That's pretty good. But our targeting range is only 103, so we're going to have to fix that, and we'll fix that with a Tech 2 sensor booster. Right, targeting range 134, drone control range 128, that's pretty good. Speaking of drones, I think we should put some drones in drone bay. That would help matters quite a lot. Combat drones, sentry drones, wardens because they do kinetic damage, and wardens because they are long range. Warden and Bouncer are your long range ones. Bouncers do explosive damage, Wardens do kinetic. Curator and Guard are your short range sentry drones. Curator do EM and Guard do thermal. So at the minute we'll just have 5 Warden 2s. When we mouse over this, we mouse over them, it tells us that their fall off range is 117 and their optimal range is 75. We could do with extending that a little bit as well. So, we're going to have to think about this final mid slot. I think we're going to put a missile guidance computer in there to extend our missiles. They only go 111 at the moment. Do we have a choice between the passive missile guidance enhancer and an active missile guidance computer? I think we're going to do a computer just so we can script it if we need to for either optimal range or precision script. Let's put an optimal range script in. Mouse over the missiles. Okay, maximum flight range 137. That's just about the same as our targeting, and our drone's going to 128. Okay, so at the minute drones go out to 128, missiles go to 137, which is just more than our targeting range, but we can extend the targeting range with a targeting range script, which will put it out to 165. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, we're going to have to think about damage increase. Let's mouse over our offense, see what it says. Missiles are doing 317 damage because there's only 5 of them and they're unbonused, so that's what we get. This is with max skills and Tech 2 high damage missiles, only 317 damage. The drones are doing 346 because, as we know from the traits, this ship gets 50% extra hit points and damage to the drones if you have the skills I have, which is Amarr Battleship level 5. So let's put some weapon upgrades on the ship and increase the damage, shall we? For the moment, I'm going to put 1 Ballistic Control System 2. And we're going to go to Drone Upgrades and put 1 Drone Damage Amplifier Tech 2. And the damage has gone up to 807. Now I'm going to hold shift and drag this over to duplicate it, and the damage has gone up to 881. Then we'll remove this second drone damage amplifier and see what difference a second ballistic control would make. 883, so we're getting slightly more damage from the missiles from having 2 ballistic control systems as opposed to having 2 drone damage amplifiers. Now our drones still only reach out to 117. I would quite like it to be closer to the 128, which is the drone control range, so we can do that with a omnidirectional tracking enhancer, which will add 20% fall off bonus and 10% optimal range bonus, and it will also increase the tracking speed, which is nice for drones. So when we mouse over our drones now they'll actually go out to 133, which is great because our targeting range is 134, so that's good. So everything's kind of round about 130 kilometre-ish. Drone control range is only 128, but we can't really get that up any higher. CPU has gone red and is blinking because it's unhappy. I knew it would be. So let's go to engineering equipment. No, let's not. Let's go to electronics because that's where CPU upgrades are. And let's put a Tech 2 coprocessor on the ship. Okay, what have we left to fit? We have rigs. And I think we're just going to go capacitor rigs on this. Let's go to engineering rigs, large. A couple of cap control circuits. That should... Wow, okay, it's actually stable. That's with the micro jump drive running. Without it running, it's more than stable. We do have some CPU left over, and we've got all the power in the world left over, so I think we'll maybe look at getting a Tech 2 large cap battery instead of a compact. Alright, that works. That's absolutely fine by me. Okay, so this is, I think, what we're going to go with. We'll just check all the stats. That's going to be fine, because we're going to be like 100 and something kilometers away due to this, so the tank doesn't need to be huge. We do have to remember we have no other propulsion, and if we're going to be spitting out sentry drones, we cannot move the ship, otherwise we'll leave them behind. I think we should add some light scout drones just in case there are enemy elite frigates that we need to get rid of. We'll just put 5 Hobgoblin 2s. I'm not sure whether I'll put any different sentry drones on. Yeah, why not? We'll put 5 guard 2s in the fit as well, just in case. See, these have a range of between 25 and 61, so if it's an easy mission and there's lots of easy to kill things at 61 kilometer range, then we may not use the micro jump drive. We may just stay where we are and spit out the guards, because guards do a lot more damage than wardens. If we see, the damage with the wardens is 883 DPS. If we switch over to guards, it goes up to a 958, which is significantly more. And guards will actually have better tracking than the wardens. Well, better is relative. I mean, 0.04 tracking is bloody appalling, but it's better than 0.01, which is what the wardens have. So I think this is the fit we're going to go with. It targets out to 130-ish. The missiles go out to 137. The drones can be controlled out to 128. So it's a long-range sniper. It's pretty much as good as you're going to get for PvE with an Armageddon. So I shall go and purchase this, and then we'll run some missions. Alright, here we are in our beautiful Armageddon. Amarr ships always look fantastic, and this is no exception. What a wonderful looking ship. It's a shame it's not all that good, but it will get the job done. Speaking of jobs it's going to be doing, we've been offered a mission, and the mission is the score. You've seen this before on this channel, we've done it a few times. Getting paid 837,000 ISK and 4,525 loyalty points, with an extra 900,000 ISK if you do it within 4 hours and 24 minutes. And as we know, the time bonus gives you a clue as to how difficult it is, or how difficult the game thinks it is. 6 hours being the most difficult missions and 2 hours being the easiest, so this one's right in the middle. It reckons it's pretty difficult but not overly taxing. Let's find out, shall we? It's against Serpentis, so everything's going to be great.
Warp drive active.
Alright, we're in the mission system. It was only one jump over. I've rearranged the modules. I've loaded the missile guidance computer with a missile range script to make sure the missiles can hit all the way out to where we need them to go. Let's take a quick look in the personalization tab, see if we have any skins for this. Okay, we do. We've got quite a few. I probably got all these from the daily login rewards. This one's kinda red and splotchy. This one is yellow head and black everything else. This one's just kinda winter camouflage. And this one's blue head and black everything else. As I keep saying, I don't really like skins on Amarr ships. I think they look best just vanilla. Why would you spoil this? It's beautiful.
Warp drive
Some
active.
notable exceptions like Cold Iron. The Cold Iron skin turns everything matte black, so it turns all your Amarr ships into the Batmobile. And Purity of the Throne turns it bone white, which looks fantastic. Those are the only two decent looking Amarr skins, in my opinion at least. Anyway, let's stop talking about skins and start worrying about how to get through this mission. Okay, we've landed fairly close to some bad guys, so let's turn on all the things. And we're 62 kilometers away from the gate, which we need to get to. So I think we're going to spit out the guards and get them to have a go at everything. Start shooting cruisers with cruise missiles. Probably should have put all the missiles on the same target, that would have been clever. So let's do that. So far so good, the drones are chewing things up. The drones are going to have to get rid of these destroyers before the destroyers wake up and realise that they're there. Yeah, it looks like the bad guys are indeed shooting at our drones. We're not doing very much damage to them yet, so that's good. And even stuff in this far away group is within range of the guards. You see, our missiles are not exactly covering themselves in glory, so I'm going to take off the missile range script and I'm going to replace it with a precision script instead. Because I did remember to buy a precision script, that's good. What range do our missiles have with that? 111, so still more than we need. Okay, this other group haven't spotted us yet, so we'll... Yeah, the guards are missing the frigates, that's not a huge surprise. Well, they hit that time. As soon as everything agresses and starts moving towards them, then they'll hit them. The fit on this ship was a delicate balancing act, because we only had so many mid-power slots, and we had to decide whether we wanted an active missile guidance computer or an active drone omnidirectional tracking link that can have scripts fitted to it. But so far, so good. We are on 100% shield, literally 100%. Nothing has even hit the shields at all. And all of the drones look like they're completely intact as well. So things are going great. Cruise missiles look so cool. Alright, I think that's all the little frigate. Oh no, just one here that I have not target locked. Maybe I should have changed this to the scan resolution script to target things faster. Right, long range snipers are fun, even though we're not really at long range. This is almost like brawling range, it's within guard range. So anything around about 60 kilometers is guard range. Anything over that is going to be wardens. Well, this has been an absolute breeze so far. The drones haven't taken any damage. We haven't taken any damage. Capacitor's absolutely rock solid. Oop, there goes another thing. We'll just let the drones take this guy out. I'm going to reload my missiles. Damn, these drones sound pretty cool when they fire. Well, alright. That worked out pretty well. Now the problem we're going to have is getting through the acceleration gate. Let's do the micro jump drive now and hope that the acceleration gate activation radius is so large, because we're going to go 100 kilometers straight ahead. Hopefully we'll be within activation range. Not bad, 13 kilometers. And I am going to just approach the gate, and then I'm going to wait 3 minutes for the micro jump drive cooldown to end before we take the gate, because one thing you do not want to do is to take a gate when you still have a cooldown active, because we may land in a big bunch of enemies and need to micro jump drive immediately, and we don't want to have to be waiting for 2.5 minutes for that, because bad things may happen in 2.5 minutes. Mind you, this ship is so slow. It's like, what, 125k full speed? Yep. It's probably going to take us 3 minutes to get into activation range anyway. That was purely down to my laziness. What I could have done when we came into the mission was head straight up and pop the micro jump drive and then spat out the wardens and done a long range sniping. And then triangulated straight on the gate, but I decided to be lazy. Well, we reached the gate in basically no time at all. There's only 1 minute left to wait. I can wait a minute. Rather spend a minute just hanging out than not being able to micro jump drive if I need to in the next room. Okay, on to room 2. I see lots of enemies on scope as we slide into the room. And there's another acceleration gate 45 kilometers away, so this time we are going to go straight up. That means we're going to have to get all the long range scripts on all of our things. Missile range script and targeting range script. Right, now the ship is pointing straight up. We shall activate the micro jump drive. I love that effect, it looks so cool. And away we go. Okay, now we're exactly 100 kilometers away from the gate. So after we've killed everything in this room, we'll just point at the gate, micro jump drive to it, and then wait 3 minutes, and then take the gate. Spit out the wardens, and get them to smash this battlecruiser. We'll do this group first, and then we'll do this group, and then we'll do the 3 battleships, which are next to the gate. Well, that seems to work. I think we're close enough that we can put the precision script back on our missiles. We only need the long range script if things are more than like 110 kilometers away. Now the wardens seem to be hitting just fine at this range. What is their optimal range? We just mouse over. Optimal range within 83. So everything's pretty much bang on their optimal range. And yellow box, which means it's on direct approach to us. So that's why things are getting absolutely demolished, which is nice. And the cruise missiles are doing a fine job of taking out the cruisers, to be honest. This is working out pretty well. Working out so well, I'm going to aggress the second group. I hope this group's within our drone control range. Yep, seems to be. That's good. Jolly good. What are the max targets the ship can have? 7. Okay, that's not great. Well, the drones seem to be sniping just fine at 121k, which is lovely. And I'll just cruise missile that final cruiser of the first group as the drones finish off the first cruiser of the second group. Now, long range sniping is pretty easy. Very little player skill is required. The only skill you need is remembering that micro jump drives have a cooldown. Oops, should not have fired my missiles at that thing. It's outside of our missile range, so let's put the missile range script back on. If I remember to turn off the guidance computer, of course, like an idiot. There we go, missile range script. And I'll just start working on this battleship. And the drones can aggress the ones down by the gate. It's a pretty chill way to run missions. You just micro jump drive 100 plus kilometers away and you smash the NPC and they can do nothing about it. Again, this is because micro jump drives were invented many years after missions were made, and missions have never been updated. In the 15 years I've been playing EVE Online, very few missions have been changed at all. So the power creep is most definitely in the player's favour. I mean, micro jump drives effectively made missions just easy mode. Not that they were particularly difficult before we had them, but they really have made sniping just pretty much the easiest way to do level 4 missions. I mean, our ship has never taken a 1 point of shield damage, and it's an armour tank ship. And none of the drones have been hit by anything. Or if they have, I haven't noticed, because the shields have never been anywhere close to being down. And I think we'll just... well, we wasted a volley of missiles there. Oh well, who cares? Missiles are cheap. I think the drones are going to take care of that battleship for us. And I'm going to recall the drones and just go to the gate. Then we'll spend some time killing these battleships with guards whilst our micro jump drive cooldown ends. Might as well do something fun while we're waiting for 3 minutes to finish. There we are, right in the gate. Let's stop the ship, spit out the guards, get them to finish off that Commodore, and I'll start working on the other one. Do you like the way that the missiles are like ejected from the ship and then ignite the rockets once they're far enough away from the ship? Nice little touch. Instead of just going in a straight line as soon as they're fired. Let's stop firing the missiles, the drones will finish that thing off. Yep, there it goes. That was a lot less than 3 minutes. Well, I'll see you in 3 minutes time when we're ready to go to room 3.
Warp drive active.
Right, micro jump drive's cooled down, let's jump the gate and see what awaits us in room 3. Can't remember if this is the last room in this mission. Probably is. Not many missions have 4 rooms. And no acceleration gate. Okay, this is the final room of this mission. And it looks like we're being dropped off at long range. Well, that's absolutely fine for us, as we know. So let's just lock everything up. Spit out the wardens. And kill everything, shall we? Oh, come on, ship. Target faster. There we are. I will put my missiles on the battleship. And we'll let the drones kill everything else. Good, they're hitting the frigates because they're on direct approach. Good for us, bad for them. Well, the missiles seem to be taking care of that battleship just fine. Cruise missiles may not have the best damage application in the world, but when you're fighting at battleships, you're going to hit. And that big long list of enemies is suddenly very, very short. Then we have not taken one single point of damage to our own ship during this entire mission. The only thing that's been shot at is the drones. Actually, no, things are aggressing us because they're red box. Yellow box might be shooting at the drones or on direct approach to us. But we don't seem to be taking any damage because everything's too far away and it's missing all the time. As we can see, they are trying to hit us, but they're missing. Ah, we actually got hit. Dang it, we took 6% shield damage. That's the only damage you've taken in this entire mission. You know what, I'm absolutely fine with that, that's not an issue. Okay, let's see how fast the missiles and the drones take down this core port admiral. Very quickly, I would assume. Well, notice there was no named NPC in this mission. No boss of the pocket. So nothing worth like 2.5 mil or 5 mil or anything that drops anything special. Just generic battleships. Just to be expected, because we knew when the agent told us we had 4 hours to get the time bonus, it was going to be a mediocre mission, and that is exactly what it has turned out to be. Very, very easy. Not perhaps the fastest run time, but we've been extremely chill, just demolishing everything. Let's just stop firing missiles because that thing's going to die. The thing about missiles, they have travel time, and because it's 78 kilometers away, we could have had 2 or 3 volleys of missiles in the air at the same time, so we saved a tiny little bit of cash. What, 150 ISK per missile times 5, so we saved a couple of thousand ISK by doing that. Right, back to the agent and we'll get another mission. So far so good for this fit. Right, the first mission has been handed in, a second mission has been obtained, and we're now doing the right hand of Zazzmatazz. This is against mercenaries, so kinetic is going to be the damage type of choice, which is great because we know we can do that. And this one does have a name boss, he's called Zor. He's not worth all that much in bounty. He fires cruise missiles that do 1000 damage every 4 seconds, so he's going to pack a bit of a punch. There's quite a few other named ships in this. They don't do anything particularly special. I don't think they have any elite resistances or anything. Zor always drops an implant. There are 2 versions of this implant. One of them is worth about 7,000 ISK. The other one is worth about 70 million ISK, so we'll see which one he drops this time. We're getting paid 640,000 ISK, 2,957 loyalty points, with an extra 627,000 ISK if you do this in 2 hours and 52 minutes. Let's accept, undock, and blow some stuff up. Right, we're in the mission system safe and sound. It was only 1 jump away, very easy to get to. Now this mission has no acceleration gates, it's a single pocket, so we can choose which range we want to warp into. If we right click in space, instead of clicking warp to location, which will drop us off at the default jump in point, if we right click in space, scroll down to agent missions, go to encounter, warp to location, and then
warp drive
instantly
active.
Press Control Tab to cancel it. We can then right click in space, go to encounter and choose our warp in distance. I'm going to go 100,
warp drive active.
which will put us 100 kilometers away from the default jump in point, not 100 kilometers away from the enemies. Now, the only problem with this might be is that I'm not sure which direction we're entering the mission from, because the mission is oriented in a certain way and I have no idea from which direction we're entering this pocket from. We'll soon find out. And we seem to have come in from the front. That's great. So we're going to be at an extreme range, which is fantastic. I think Zor is actually going to be a little bit outside of our... No, he's in our missile range. That's good. Right, let's get rid of Zor first because he has by far the most firepower of everything here. Okay, drones only go out to 128, so they can start working on the cruisers. So we'll have a cruise missile duel between us and Zor. That's his cruise missiles hitting us for 1000 damage each time. Zor is a shield tank, so once the shield goes down, he'll melt. We don't have to worry about our own shields because we are an armour tank ship. Drones are taking care of the cruisers. These cruisers do quite a lot of damage up close, which is one of the reasons I've come out to this extreme range. So we can pick them off before they get anywhere close enough to harm us. It seems to be working just fine. Yeah, there's Schmid and there's... where's the other one? Seven McCleary are the other 2 named people. They don't have any particular extra stats. We do info, just basic resistances, small bounty. Yeah, let's do Schmid with the missiles. Zor's dead, so that's all his DPS off the field. I think after the drones kill this next assassin, we'll get them to try and kill the Death Guards, because I believe these are elite frigates. Maybe not. And we do have distant memories of this mission aggressing drones, so we'll just try and get rid of them if we can. Okay, the drones are missing because they're a little bit too close. Let's bring the drones back, spit out the guards, and get the guards to have a go at the frigates and hope they hit. Yep, that's better than... that's much better. There he goes, and this next one as well. Alright, drones, one-shotted that guy, that's good. Cruise missiles aren't hitting the cruiser particularly well because that's how cruise missiles are. They're not great at shooting smaller targets. When it comes to cruise missiles, cruisers are smaller targets. They'd be doing even less damage per hit to destroyers and frigates. Right, so let's missile the battleship and drone the cruiser. Being mercenaries, every single enemy will drop at least some kind of loot. The only thing we're interested in is Zor's wreck. We do have to destroy this outpost headquarters to complete the mission, but that will not be a problem. I'm going to micro warp drive to Zor's wreck, and we'll put out the guards and destroy the headquarters. Yeah, that's enough missiles in the air. Alright. Cruise missiles seem to be hitting this thing just fine. A, because it's big, and B, because it's not moving. It's absolute perfect damage, I believe. Yeah, these do 863 kinetic each, and that's obviously perfect damage application. And that'll be the end of that. So I shall slow boat to Zor's wreck, have a look which implant he drops, and I'll report back later. The structure never drops anything good. Here we are at Zor's wreck, and he dropped the crappy implant. The estimated price is 5,170 ISK. That's appalling. Right, that's his second and final mission of this episode handed in. The ship has acquitted itself spectacularly well in the two missions that we were handed. Long-range snipers may not be the flashiest or most efficient mission runners, in terms of runtime at least. In terms of keeping yourself alive, they're extremely efficient. We never got below like 80% shield, and this is an armour tank ship. Being able to hit things from 130 kilometers is hilarious, because no missions are set up to deal with that kind of firepower at that kind of range. But anyway, that's the end of the battleships for this fitting guide series. We've done every single Tech 1 battleship for the four main empires. I may take a look at Triglavian or Edencom or faction battleships at some point in the future. It won't be any time soon, I'll tell you that much. But for now, that's the end of this episode. I hope to see you again for the next one, and I hope you look after yourself until then. See you later.